Welcome to Breaking News. I'm Miley and bring for you latest news on today. On Saturday, the New York Times published the piece titled, "A Nation in Turmoil Prepares to Deliver a Verdict on Trump." The Washington Post joined in with the piece saying that voters will render a nationwide judgment on whether Trumpism is a historic anomaly or reflection of modern-day America.
All these articles have much to recommend about them, but I want to push back on the framing. Elections are important because they decide who holds power, not because they reveal what the public believes. Indeed, they often mislead us about what the public believes. It's possible that Tuesday results will be stunning enough that we can interpret them as a verdict on Trump. If Democrats win 35 seats in the House and unexpectedly take over the Senate, I'll be right there with the rest of the pundits declaring that a sweeping rebuke of Trump. If Republicans gain seats in the House and rank up as 5 to 7 votes majority in the Senate, that too will be a clear verdict. But likelier outcomes are more mixed because our elections, particularly midterm elections, aren't built to channel the national will. If you want to know what the country thinks of Trump, you'd be better off commissioning a poll than trying to peer through much of a midterm. Consider two totally plausible outcomes in the House. In one, Democrats win 43% of the total House vote and a majority of seats. In another, Democrats win 44% of the total House vote, but, due to gerrymandering and geography, a minority of seats. The media will paint the former as a huge victory for the Democrats and the latter as a crushing loss. But in terms of the American people delivering a verdict, the latter is clearly a verdict than the former, even though it translates into far less power. The Senate is even stranger. Only about a third of the seats are up in any given election, and because this campaign follows the Democratic gains of 2012, Democrats are defending 26 Senate seats against the GOP's 9. In that context, perhaps only losing one seat in a stunning victory for Democrats, it would certainly mean vastly more voters cast a ballot for Democratic Senate candidates than Republican Senate candidates. But I doubt that media would treat it that way, and reasonably so. If Democrats lose ground in the Senate, that's a loss of power no matter the vote totals. The dangers of the extrapolation can be simply defined. The president's party almost always loses the midterm election, but presidents usually win their re-election campaigns. Midterm elections are measuring something much narrower than what American now is, even if you do believe American ever is any one thing. The way we interpret election is strange because the way we conduct elections is strange. The idea of a verdict turns implicitly on the idea that elections express national will, but we don't structure elections to do anything of the sort. But we want our leaders to be more legitimate than that, so we often build narratives that justify the new distribution of power as an expression of the popular will, no matter how senseless the story then becomes. Tuesday's election will be, in part, an impression of the electorate's views on Donald Trump, but it will also be a midterm election where Trump is not on the ballot, and where the results are filtered, distorted, and wrapped by the bizarre way we hold elections. The vote will resolve the question of who controls the House and Senate, and it will hopefully do so clearly. But it will not clearly resolve who we are as a country or even how we feel about Trump.
And this story appears in Breaking News, a news format on the latest twists and turns around the 2018 election result. Subscribe and follow us along with more about Trump administration policy and the situation of election. And with that, ladies and gentlemen, we have reached the duration of today's program. Thank you for watching.